From depths of darkness appears, lonely standing at spotlight. As the camera goes into stillness, the show starts. One movement is enough for him to call the other identities. As light as a feather, he begins his journey. Between these shadows, who is the real one? Who is dreaming? What is reality? And what is not? BTS started a show, a map of soul, the struggles of humans and the conflict they carry inside of each persona. Black Swan isn't a villain. It's simply a side of us. A side that everything around us since the day we were born, restrict it, puts it on a leash and expects it to just vanish. Like it doesn't exist to begin with. Black Swan is inspired by two elements. One being the black swan, and the other being perfect blue. A split that deepens on one's skin. A representation of an imaginary death, like it's slinking its way onto flesh. The darkness in the first scene is a symbolic frame of mind. Mind is actually so much like universe. It can be empty and filled with darkness, yet full of everything that gleam a bright light. And true to that, the scene does a fast cut to another scene with all members. Again there is only enough light for us to witness the only necessary things. Everything that we don't need to see, is sleeping in darkness. They reach their hands up demanding something, anything, just a mere sign to show their existence. It's also a brief smirk, that the place everything is happening now, is on a stage. Being on stage means not being real. Something is just an act and it's only made of small and big steps of composition and mezzanine. The stage is a symbol of mind, some places are visible, and some parts are not. We are watching inside of someone's brain that was splintered onto 7. Soon Cookie takes control, and other figures follow his steps. While Jimin is still dancing alone, yet is still dancing with others too. It's a game. Hypnotism game, a perfect black. Another fast cut to Sugar, sitting alone and singing, while Jimin's shadow howls over him. Sugar is the voice inside a brain, a guiding that another voice takes over him, just for another voice to decide and for the body to act. As Sugar says these words, they say my heart isn't beating anymore. When I listen to music, as if time has stopped. That would be my first death, I've been always afraid of. Sugar is talking about his first death. Although it's nothing physical, it takes us back to November 30th 2015. To the Run era. All the members except for Jin, in one way or another experienced death. And they would have been dead, if they weren't only characters of a stage. BTS storyline is a big frame of Jin's point of view, because in the whole story, we have a brief background of each member, but only Jin. The question is why Jin became like this, why he became so broken. It's all a weird enigma. The mental disorder of split personality mostly takes place when someone is trying to forget something. For example, Trudy Chase was an American author. She is best known for the book, When Rabbit Howls, an autobiography about her experiences after being diagnosed with dissociative identity disorder, in which she created 92 personas and identities in order to forget her traumatic past. In the movie named 1 Hour Photo, The character played by Robin Williams has a quote, "No one ever takes a photograph of something they want to forget." But when Jin takes photos of members with empty hands, it symbolizes that there is nothing to be kept as a memory, not physical at least. And this is when Perfect Blue takes action. There we have a character named Mima, who is Jin here. Mima is an idol who becomes a split character, after all the thoughts she puts onto what others think. So, in order to survive in the virtual world she created, she also creates many worlds, and characters to hide behind, to the point of forgetting who she is.
Excuse me, who are you? Excuse me, who are you? Excuse me, who are you?
She keeps telling people she is fine while she asks help from others without even knowing. Does that ring a bell? Fake Love music video, the collapse of Jin's mind, while protecting a fictional flower that symbolizes his fragile mind. As you can clearly see in this frame, characters love each other, but at the same time, they are in a conflict. And sometimes they change position to take control of their own world or, perhaps the other's world. The part that V sings, "I can only hear the sound of my slow heartbeat. I try to escape but into that mouth, I jump. Not a single song touches me. I'm screaming, a silent scream." As you can see here, V tells us how much he seeks help, while at the same time he is the character with the most committed crime. And in one of the frames, we see Jimin not dancing anymore, but he has found himself in a new part of mind. A new part we witness, the place of audience which is empty. He is on a stage, performing an art that nobody watches. There is no one to see inside one's brain, that's why we never know what someone is thinking. Even you can't see inside of yourself, if there is no light to see. To do so, you would need a map of soul. Jimin seems to see somehow, the end of the light which is where he is standing, but behind that light, who sheds it into other, who is standing. One would simply find perfection, whether it's good or bad, right or wrong. You can't reach for your shadow or your reflection in a mirror. All there is left for you, is an after effect of what you've done. The reflection can be cloudy, if you don't know yourself. Jin's identity divides into 6 other entities. That bashes and breaks him. Jungkook, however, has his back turned on stage, the stage that although is visible but is completely out of light. The idol is dying, a sorrowful death, a death that is caused by truth. Knowing you're just a reflection, you may be in spotlight, but you are not the person who is controlling the light. The music video ends with a bookend. One movement is enough for him to call the other identities. As light as a feather, he ends his journey. Between these shadows, who is the real one? Who is dreaming? What is reality, and what is not? From depths of darkness appears, lonely, as he watches the idol's death. As the camera goes into stillness, and he leaves,